Hello, everyone. I'm Dragonwhelp, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. This game is a space simulator sandbox type game, and I've been playing this game for quite a while now, and just got the go ahead to be able to post videos. Awesome. So let's dive right in here. And I'm thinking I'm starting a career for this Let's Play. If anybody out there thinks I should go like a science route, or just straight up sandbox and just show the wonders of Kerbal Space Program, leave the comment down below. But for now, we're going to start a career so we can get the fundations of doing the missions and the troubles and whatnot of having to run our own space center. So let's pick a flag. Yeah, let's see. They've added a lot of new flags since I last played, which has been a while, but actually it's been before they went to 1.0, actually. I haven't played since then. So this is going to be a new experience to me just as much as it's going to be a new experience for you. So let's see. I kind of like that flag. And let's go. Do you name with our... Okay, cancel. Let's do YouTube. Start. Alright, nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, Flight Director and your guide to quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around. Hold right mouse button, move the camera, and hold the arrow or use the arrow keys. Right click over the Space Center facilities to view more about them, and left click when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section in the on the main menu. Thanks. Got it. So, we need to go to mission control. I know I've started multiple careers in the past, and the first place you always probably want to go when you start a new career is mission control. This is where you'll get all of your missions, all of your available to do things like launch, orbit Kerbin. I mean, we're not there yet because we have to get the science and unlock all the good parts to get into space efficiently. But there's one that's escape the atmosphere, launch our first vessel, which we can do that really easily. So we're going to accept that one. Gather scientific data from Kerbin. Alright, we can do that. That's not a problem. Let's see, do these have a expiration on them? Expires in 4 days, 5 hours. This one expires in 3 days. We might not get that one, but we'll see. So we can either launch from the launch pad out here and going through the vehicle assembly building. This is where you build your rockets. Or we could go off and deploy on the runway, which we go through the spaceplane hangar to do that. The easiest way I've found to do all of this is just go straight into the vehicle assembly building. Hello, this is Wiener von Kerman. Hello, I'm Wiener von Kerman, Chief Rocketry Engineer. This is the vehicle assembly building where we build spacecraft and later roll them to the launch pad for flight. Pretty impressive, isn't it? I would think so. On your left side, you'll find components to construct your own spacecraft. Select a starting part and then attach it to build a ship. You can have a look around with right mouse key or the arrows. That's it, really. It's not as if you were a rocket. Oh, it's not as if it were a rocket scientist. Rocket science. Anyhow, if you need a more in-depth explanation on how to build, have a look at the training section on the main menu. Got it. So we could start with our Mach 1 command pod, and that's pretty much all we need for our first few missions. Cause let's see. Don't need that. Where is it? There we go. We just need to gather scientific data, which we can do once we launch this vehicle, and we get to launch our first vessel, which would be this thing right here. So let's check to see who's in here. Good old Jebediah. Jebediah coming. Anyway, here we go. Let's launch. Alright. Oh, it's sunk through a little bit. So, we want to crew report. Alright. We can keep that crew report. And let's do an EVA, which allows us to get outside the aircraft. We can do then another EVA report from the launch pad. And then we can store that data in the pod. If I'm going too fast, please let me know in the comments below. I'm just, I don't want to bore everybody. Let's see, I need to let go. Alright, now we're on the ground. So now, we can take another EVA report from the launch pad that's on the ground. We should be able to store it in here. Store experiments? Nope. Okay. So, that is that. Actually, we could run out here for a second, get off the launch pad, and get into a new biome. The Kerbal Space Center has different biomes. Let's see, it's still launch pad. Still launch pad. How far do we have to go out? Launch pad. Launch pad. Oh, come on. Still launch pad. But to move around on the ground in this mode is it's WASD, and I'm holding shift to run. You right click on your person to bring up the menu. And spaceflight's really similar, except for S. S actually does a completely different thing, but it's for navigation points. It looks like I'm going to have to go all the way to the vehicle assembly building just to get a good EVA report that's not on the launch pad. Oh, come on. This is the cat way. There, the crawler way. There we go. Let's grab that data. Soon what we'll do is we'll build a rover once we get the parts, and we'll go all over this place and collect all the juicy data, all the juicy science. But what we can do is we can stop here. We can go ahead and recover vessel. He'll recover that information that he has. Yeah. Done. And then we could go to the spacecraft and recover it as well, because it's carrying the data that we stored inside of it. So we have 8.3 science. Let's go to the research and development building and see what we can buy. Probably nothing. Oh, we actually can buy something. We can buy either basic rocketry or engineering 101, which gives us more science. Well, like the thermometer is a science tool. It gives us communications abilities with the communitrons. So yeah, I say since it gives us another science thing, because we need more science. Because yeah, look at this tree. The big one's here at the end. 1,000 science, and most people are thinking, man, that's easy. No, 1,000 science. It takes a long time to get 1,000 science. So anyway, we're going to grab engineering 101. All right, we got that. So now what we want to do is we want to head back to the vehicle assembly building, and we want to throw our science. Oh, click. Now we can throw a thermometer on here. And we also, I guess I should have noticed this before with our science containers, we actually have a goo experiment that we should have took with us. So what you do is in here, you left click around to change the different parts. You see, as you can see, they're highlighting. You move it up and down, left and right, and each part can be moved individually. But if you want to rotate around or move up and down, right click rotates you up and down, left and right, and then you can also use the scroll wheel to move up and down. But if you hold shift and scroll out, it zooms the camera out, or holding shift scroll in, you zoom in. But anyway, that's just little basic controls right there. So now that we've got our thermometer and our goo experiment, actually let's go ahead and double up on this, because you can never be too safe when it comes to gathering science. So let's launch this again and do the science experiments on board. It should yield a bunch of science. Observe mystery goo. Alright. Now you see, that's one of the main reasons why I brought 2 experiments out here, is because you see it fills it up to this part right here, but after a while, you know, after a little bit, it goes into a dark gray. That means there's more science to be had with this experiment in this location. So let's toggle the log the thermometer data. Alright, see, it doesn't have any of the dark green area, so that's all that we need to do. But it never hurts to grab an extra set of data just in case. So I'm going to observe the mystery goo on this side, and hopefully when we recover the vessel, the information that we gathered with this one will fill in the gaps needed. So let's try to do a crew report. And since we've already done the crew report in the last launch, it won't yield anything. You can't, the crew reports and stuff like that, once you exhaust the resources or exhaust the science of a certain action or science tool, there's no more science can be had from that. So let's not take that. Let's EVA and see if I can do another EVA report. No. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press B to get back inside, and I want to recover the vessel, because that's literally all we can do until we can upgrade our buildings so we can start doing soil samples and whatnot. There's really not much more we could do with the launch pad. So, saying that, since this is a biome, the crawl away here is a biome, each of these are individually a biome themselves. So the runway itself is a biome. So to get to the runway really fast, as we will go to the space plane hangar, and let's see, yeah, it's rotate. You also use WASD to rotate your parts while you have them clicked. So what we want to do now is I'm going to press X to turn on symmetry. So that way it places one on both sides rather than me having to place them manually. So I'm going to grab 2 thermometers, through 2 mystery goos, and launch. And this is just the beginning ways of getting science. I mean, there's more elaborate ways later on, but this is the way you have to do it to start off, because things are really, really slow. See? Now we have got a goo experiment from the runway. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. Alright. And then log the data on the thermometer. Alright. Let's do it on the other one just to be sure. I mean, it's not necessary, but you never know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log a crew report, which I right click on the capsule to get this menu to pop up, by the way. Crew report. Alright. That's 1.5 science. So let's EVA, take another one, runway, alright, and then let's get back inside and recover the vessel. That yielded 10 science, so we have a total of 19 science now. Yes! So here we go back to the research and development. This is where all of your science, you use your science to purchase different things. So now that we've got 19 science, we can go ahead and buy basic rocketry, which gives us our first liquid fuel engine and all that good stuff. So let's get that. Let's see what else can we get. 20, 18, okay, survivability is 15, which gives us another science tool, along with some parachutes and other things that we will need or deem necessary for survival, because if we do launch up, we're going to need our parachutes. So let's go ahead and grab this. Oh, I don't have enough science. Okay, so that means we're going to have to take some... Did we launch our first vessel? What it was required? I thought we launched one. We did, but launch your first vessel off the launch pad of the runway to achieve this goal. Okay, it's actually lifting off from the pad. Okay. So what we'll do, until we can get parachutes, let's see, what could we do? Is there any way we could build a space plane of sorts? Well, not really, because all we have is the little... We have the engines now, but we really don't have any parachutes. Or do we? Do we have a parachute? We have the top parachute, don't we? Yeah, we do have the top parachute. Okay. So let's leave the VA... Let's leave the spaceplane hangar. Go back to the VAB. And just build a basic thing. Make sure... First and foremost, make sure you put your parachute on the top of your capsule, because your capsule goes crashing into the ground. Bye-bye science. So let's put a couple of goo canisters and a couple of well, technically you only need one, but I like to double up for safety's sake. Don't think we'll need any antennas for this. Don't really need a payload. Let's put a separate, what is this? A stack decoupler. That way we don't have to. That way this single parachute has to support the weight of all the science experiments, and not the massive fuel tank or thruster solid rocket booster that we're about to put on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to launch off. We're going to press you launch off and then stack decouple it to separate these two, and then the parachute will float this capsule back to safety. Ready? Let's do it. Launch. All right. Now, one thing you'll have to know about oh my goodness, the solid rocket boosters is that they you could change your throttle with shift or control. But one thing you have to know about solid rocket boosters is that they release their stuff all from the get-go. So there's no throttling up, throttling down. So once I press space, it's going to shoot me into space or shoot me into the air. You ready? 3, 2, 1, launch. So while we're up here, we need to be really, really fast. Take a crew report. We need to observe the mystery goo on both sides, because not all of it will be gathered at the same time. And we also want to log the temperature. Oh, all right. And see, we're really, really fast. We're smoking. Oh, we almost reached space. Almost reached space. Oh, look at that. So what we want to do is that way the weight of this solid rocket booster, it's a dead solid rocket booster right now, so that we don't use this weight of this rocket booster to drag us back down and increase our speed. We are going to stack decouple it. And all I did there was press space over here and where my mouse is at on the left-hand side of the screen is your staging. And if you have your staging set up correctly, all you have to do is just press space to go from one stage to the next. Let's turn on. You press T to turn on SAS, and we look like we're good on electrical charge. So I want to make sure that the end of my spacecraft, which is the bottom down here, this is the bottom of the spacecraft. I want to make sure when I go back down that this is pointed towards the ground. That way, if it's pointed on the top, you run the risk of everything overheating because of re-entry and whatnot. Oh, we're technically in space. Technically. And I can't do EVA because I need to upgrade the astronaut complex. But that's cool. That's really cool. We went really high up. We went really high up. Is there... Can I... log the temperature. Awesome. Yeah, see, if you hear that noise... Yeah, we're actually in space. Let's redo this and log the temperature from space. Yeah, we get a lot more science for that. A lot more science. So here we go. And I want to point my ship retrograde, because that's the way... We have prograde, which is in front of us. Retrograde, which is behind us. And then you have normal and anti-normal, but I get those two mixed up. But if you're not sure which way you're facing or which way you're going, just know that the front is prograde, the bottom is retrograde. So as long as we can keep our butt or the end of our spacecraft towards the retrograde marker, which is it's represented by a circle with an X in it. And the prograde marker is just a circle. But if we can make sure we can keep our ship relatively pointed at that retrograde marker, and I'm talking about keeping this marker here. This is our ship, the representation of our ship, and I could go like this. Now I'm pointing straight up and down, but I want to make sure the end of my ship is pointed where the retrograde marker is. Anyway, we're coming back down to the planet. We're increasing speed really rapidly, really rapidly. And we just made it into the surface. Are we going to get re-entry effects? Are we going to start heating up? Or are we not going fast enough for that? Probably wasn't going fast enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till my speed reaches minimum or optimum level. Hopefully the wind resistance will slow us down enough to where we can open our parachute. We got to wait till this icon over here shows green. If it will show green. Will it show green? Is it going to show green? We're still slowing down. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, it's not going to show green, but it was red just a second ago, which means don't open it, because you will die. It will just rip the parachute straight off of the strings. But we're slowing down slowly. So 3,000 meters. I'm going to go ahead and pop the parachute. Hopefully it'll hold. Hopefully. We'll slow down, and the parachute deployed. Alright, it's green now. So it's going to slow us down to a point where we don't go kersploosh and splat into the ocean. And another cool thing about this is once we land, we could take another set of data, well, at least from the crew report standpoint. Did we land? No, we're slowly going to. Let's see, can I speed time? You press comma or period to speed up time. When you're in a planet's atmosphere, it's called physical time warp, which means that if you try to adjust your angles while in time warp, it's just gonna go everywhere. Anyway, we speed it up just a little bit, and we crash landed. Awesome. Now we could do a crew report. I guess not. We'll have to do that next time because I don't want to lose all of the data we've gathered. So we cover the vessel and see how much science we got. 33 science on that little voyage. Yes, that's a lot of science. We have 65 science total. So now, and good old Jebediah got an experience gain. So, and your pilots and your crew members can gain experience, and the more experience they get, the more levels they get, and the more levels they get, the better at what they do becomes. So that's pretty cool. So now we're going to buy the survivability. That gives us a little bit extra parachutes, the radial mounted parachutes, where we can put parachutes on the side. And it also gives us the next science tool. But I'm going to leave that episode here. Probably can go on and try to buy some more a lot better rocketry and stuff. But I've learned in my past that it's best to try to go down the science line as fast as possible, because all the science you can gain, or the science tools that you can get, is better, because you get your science flowing in a lot faster and not have to worry about things. But anyway, thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoy the video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you enjoyed it to a point where you would want to see this series continue, leave a comment down below. But until next time, see you later. Viking word for falling. What is this? I've never seen something like this before. Tramatino ball. Oh my. It apparently is pissed off that I took that. And this is a new type of sentinel. I've never seen something like this before.